Like your mother. You always look like your mother.
Yeah.
It's a reunion. Hey.
It is. That's
Yes.
awesome.
Hi.
So let me do
So,
this.
so Michael, I know, are you, Felice's husband was the same name as yours, right? Is
Yeah,
that your,
His
yeah, that's
dad.
my father's, Michael Cordato. Yeah. And I'm
Yeah.
Michael Cordato as well, but he didn't call me Junior, so I'm just Michael Cordato.
oh, I understand. Yeah, I don't think I've ever met you. The last pictures I have are
Really?
you and your father getting married to Felice.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I think I was like 18 years old.
Could be, yeah, absolutely.
That's a
I'm
whole
older
lifetime.
now, 50
Yeah.
years later.
So you might
Is
want
Felice gonna join? Did you?
she, I don't know, she might. I mean,
Oh,
but I know we only have so much time because I'm on the free version. So I'm gonna run through some stuff
Okay.
here.
Okay,
And
great.
some of this stuff, so here, let me just run through what I kind of jotted down. Grab a piece of paper because if you have questions, there'll be time at the end.
Yep.
Ask me them later right at the end, or if you see corrections, I'm gonna want you to kind of tell me later on and say, hey, I got some corrections for you in what you've put together. I'm gonna work our way through using Harriet and Grandma Ruth, my grandma, as examples. And then I'm gonna work our way back in time, and you're gonna see how far I was able to actually go on Kolbe and Brenner side. So I focused,
Hi,
what's that?
Jared's jumping on now.
Okay, all right. Let me take a quick pause then. have my-
take a
My
deep
camera's
breath.
down here. It's kind of funny, and my monitor's up here, so I'm always looking in the sky, you know?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
all good.
All right, and then, so I'm gonna work from Harriet and Ruth backwards. I focus the efforts on the matriarchs and kind of patriarchs as far as, just because I know it's harder to find that information. I can get the more recent information from all of you. So, you know, I didn't really spend a lot of time on that. I had been working on this on the Cordato side, my side, for a couple of years. I mean, just slowly here and there. And then I'm like, okay, my mom's side, let me start working on that too. And my experience with genealogy, and I want to share this here, is it's been kind of like a good mystery novel, I would say. At times you think you know the storyline, but then it turns out that you don't. And it's kind of crazy just with the data, or at least not the way you thought you knew it, or there's more to the story that was believed. The crazy thing is about this novel and the story is that it's real emotions, and they may surface along the way. So for example, I started pulling information together on the Cordato side where when my father was still alive, right? So let me go ahead, here comes Jarrett. Perfect, and then I'll share. Hey, Jarrett.
Hey, man. Yo.
Well, you just caught me after the whole spiel, so I'm just going to jump into it.
You missed the intro.
Yeah, no, you missed the intro. It's all fine. But
Sounds like school. Sounds like normally what would happen.
yeah, no, it's all good. So I'm going to share my screen. Let me go here and do the whole screen. Hopefully everyone can see it in just a second. Yeah. All right. So can everyone see my screen? Okay. So for example, I started pulling the information together on the Cordato side when my father was still alive. You can see at the top here, there's a birth date. There's kind of the dash, and then there's the death date. Once my father died, it was very difficult to put that date in for me personally, right? So today, when you go through the material, you're going to see like your mother, or you might see your brother, right? And you're going to see a birth date, and then there's that dash, and then there's the end date. Emotions do surface. It's just kind of how it is. But it is a novel. It's interesting digging up information. Sometimes I found there's information you don't want to dig. So here I am, Joseph Cordato, my father, right? Well, Vincenzo Cordati, and by the way, our name really had an I, not an O, when they came in through Ellis Island. And I'm sharing this because I can't wait to jump over to the other side and show you. But Cordati was our real name coming through Ellis Island. Some goofball changed it, made it an O, and that's it. Generation after generation now has an O at the end of our name instead of an I. And this guy was not a good guy. All we knew about him, I knew that my father had brothers and sisters. I didn't know Joseph died. I didn't know he died at the age of 16. He jumped into off of a thing in New York into water, And it was fun. It was with his friends, and he hit his head on a rock, and then he was gone. That was it. It was awful. And then I started to get that story through other relatives and go, I didn't even know that person was there. And then you kind of work your way down. Wait a minute, he has half siblings. This guy fled during the war, changed his last name so he wouldn't get caught. Okay, well, there you go. There's Giuseppe, who died at the age of 1. How did he die? Well, it's on the ship manifest from 1900. I can see that he died, but I don't exactly know how, but I could get the death certificate, $15, got that. So now I have more information. So anyway, I was able to get all this information. There's my mother, by the way, right there. So let's hop over, and I'm going to start now. So I just prepped you so you'd know, like, hey, there could be some stuff, right? So here's your beautiful mom, Harriet, right? Harriet, born 29 January 1924, Brooklyn, New York, and death on 2nd January 1989. So I'm looking through this, and there's some really cool stuff. First of all, there's that picture, which I thought was really awesome, right? She's married to Herb. And then there's Pam, Sheila, and Howard. And if I go into the facts area, here comes Helene. Let me bring her in. Someone else, got one more joining. All right. So if I go into, hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Hey,
All right.
Hi.
Good
Can't
timing.
see anybody.
not yet.
We just started, Helene. You didn't miss anything yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Hi.
Hi there.
Hi, Mike. Hi, Sheila.
Hey, Helene, how are you?
Jared.
All right, let's let Michael go through his stuff. We'll gab later.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll
Okay.
come back around. Let me just finish. I'm going to finish through some. So here's Harriet Claire Brenner. And again, if you see things that are wrong, just let me know. I pieced the information together based on the data and facts. If things don't match up, I won't add it, or I'll make a note and do a maybe and add it later. Okay, so you can see we have census, 1930, 1940, all these things that tie. I can tell you just from the data that Harriet was married, obviously in October, right here in 1958, but she must have went to Bermuda for her honeymoon because she arrives there.
That is correct.
All right, that is correct. So I can click on that. We can go in and we can take a look at the actual manifest on the ship and see, okay, well, there's Harriet Wax, her nationality, American.
Stephen
Brooklyn,
Street, look at that.
Montclair.
Wow.
There you go, October 21st. So I just wanted to give you an idea of how it gets pieced together. There's all this kind of data in there. And then there's fun stuff in there, like a yearbook and, a yearbook picture. Well, it's really funny, I mean, because if you look
I
at
have
it
it.
and we scroll down and we take a look,
That's where it is.
and here she is. She appears to be a quiet, reserved person. But usually when you see her in a group, she's laughing. Her friends say she should be called Chatterbox for her chatter are higher than that of Tizzy Lish, whoever Tizzy is.
Whatever that is.
Hilarious, right? So just
Funny.
super cool information.
Super cool.
All right, so I'm gonna work my way backwards. A couple of things. This is called a .ged file for the entire family tree, right? And what that means is it's just the file format, so that when I look at the tree view, I can get a really good idea of how it's all put together, the Kolbes and the Brenners and everything
Oh,
else.
wow.
I'm going to take this .ged file and I'm going to send it to all of you. And the
that's
reason why
great.
and the reason why that matters, you can take that .ged, and even if you don't have Ancestry, any family tree program, they all use .ged format for their trees. It'll load in. You'll be able to keep this and look through it and do whatever you want to do with it if you get any sort of family tree program, or if you do Ancestry, and you'll have it here as well, and you can look through it. Kind of cool stuff.
Wow. So you don't have Harry Brenner. We don't know anything more about him.
I'm gonna let's go there.
Actually, I've seen Dad's yearbook photo in here in Ancestry. Yeah.
Thank God you don't have mine.
All right. Then,
But I love Susan's look. Very nice.
very nice.
My little flip.
Love it.
So Harriet, you may not know this. Did you know outside of Ruth, Arthur, and Joe, there's also a Stanley Brenner,
No,
1 year old.
wow.
So Harry and Sadie had a Stanley as well. Now, what is interesting about this is if I show you, and I'm going to shoot over to here, and I show you Mount Carmel. In Mount Carmel, you're going to see right here is Stanley Brenner. And this is the right Stanley Brenner. He's died in 1919. He's out and buried, he's buried out and away from the rest of the family for some reason.
Mhm.
So here's Bernard, here's Meyer, and by the way, there's a Pepe. I don't know if this is where my mother may have
Interesting.
gotten a middle name in there, but Pepe is actually, now let me shoot back. So you've got Sadie, and we can go two paths. We can go Brenner path,
Mhm.
or we can go and take the Kolbe path, right? So let's go Brenner path first. Let's do that. So I'm going to go to Harry Brenner now first. Here's Harry Brenner, born in Czernowitz, Austria. You see that? There's the town up there. Czernowitz, 6th of January, 1890. My phone is going crazy. Let me put it over here.
Yes, I was named after him.
You were?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Ah, so there's Harry.
Did
and
you
his
know he's born
sibling.
in Austria? I didn't know he's born in Austria.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
did not know.
Okay, well, that's awesome. So Harry had brothers and sisters. You had Bernard, Max, Fanny, Samuel, and Samuel's a bit of a mystery for me. There's Seraphine Brenner, and then there's Helene Brenner.
Amphina, that's Amphina.
Amphina. Okay,
Yeah.
died in 1994,
And-
right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Fina, if I shoot back over to here for you, where's that fun-filled facts page?
There's another Helene Brenner. Did you see that, Helene?
That's not Anne Helen?
Who
So
is that?
Fina, is this Fina? Her last name became Feigenbaum?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. And if you take a look at the society, they're all Czernowitz, the same name as the town. So
Mhm.
definitely the right people. And I got the logs and everything to help match them up. So we've got the right people for sure. Let me go back to that page so you can see what we're looking at. So Harry has Bernard,
Very Brenner is who I've seen.
Max, Fanny, Samuel, Seraphine,
Wow.
and Helene. Okay.
But is that Helen? Because Amphina and Anne Helen, I thought they were sisters and they lived together.
I think so too.
But I didn't know her name was actually Helene.
But
Yeah.
this is the
Interesting.
generation before. Are
That's
you
really
sure we're
weird.
looking at the right level here? This is Harry's brothers and sisters.
Ancestry.
Hmm.
Under the Kolbe.
So Harry's brothers and sisters are what we're talking about. Not, if I go in and take a look at Harry's kids, well, we have, Ruth, Arthur, Harry.
Arthur,
Okay, yeah.
Joseph.
Helene Brenner. This was.
What's the unborn baby Brenner?
Well, I'm still working on that. There was a log I was looking at where it looked like it looked like Sadie was pregnant and the baby didn't make it on the ship. But then
Okay.
again, I think it's Stanley is what was going on. I think Stanley was actually, he was
Harry is.
born. And so before I took it off, though, I want to clear that up. I need to
Stanley
clear it up.
was a Stanley.
Mhm.
Can you go back to Sadie and just see what does it say as her birthplace?
Yes, we'll do Sadie. I'm gonna get there. So I have a path though. I want to take you down. So I got Harry here, and then Harry's brother. One of Harry's brothers is Bernard, right? So to get these names, Pearl Reiner and Meyer Brenner as parents of Harry, take a look at this here. Hold on a second.
Reiner and Meyer Brenner were the
Those are
grandparents.
his parents.
So Bernard Brenner died at the age of 81. He lived in Philadelphia. You can see listed here as
Never
Meyer
mind.
and Pearl,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we've got the names of the parents based on Bernard's death certificate. And then I've got it in other places as well. So I've got it like verified. You can see they're from Czernowitz, Austria. He was born in February 2nd, so it all matches. He died of myocardial, and I'm not sure what that means. Is that a heart
That's a
attack?
heart attack.
Okay.
Same as my dad.
Okay, so he was 81 and he died of a
Yeah.
heart attack. So that's Harry's brother, Bernard, and that's where we get these names from. And then there's other
Oh.
logs to confirm it.
Cool.
All right, cool. So there's
Mhm.
confirming information. If you take a look, this is the 1905 log. Now, the name Pepe, I was really interested in that because my mother's middle
Yeah.
name is Felice Pepe, you know.
Mhm.
So when you see that, and I look here at the log, you see in the middle, row 26,
Brenner,
Brenner, Meyer, and Pepe.
Peppy.
So her name's
That's
Pepe.
funny.
This is definitely Meyer because look what his job is, neckwear manufacturer. He's
Oh, that's interesting.
doing the tie.
And a
neckwear.
housewife.
And housewife, yeah, from Austria. So
They
here we
didn't
go
stay-
there. I can't move
Their
it
professions stay the same pretty much. That's funny.
all the way through, yeah. So here's the 1910 log, and you see Pearl now it's Pearl, it's not Pepe anymore. So Pearl and Pepe are definitely the same. The ages match up, the same birth date,
Mhm.
same place they're born, and clearly the same person because it's neckwear manufacturer and she's
Right.
housewife. Yeah, okay.
Oh,
So
this is
we can
census.
do that.
Interesting. Handwritten.
And
Unbelievable.
it does say Helene right there.
Here's
Yes,
Helene.
it does.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
That's so weird.
Did you
Nobody
know?
ever told me
Did you
that.
know that, Helene? You
No,
didn't know that. That's
And you thought you
Well,
were named
nobody
after
knew
Harry
that.
and not Helene.
yeah.
right. You thought she was Helen, right, Sheila?
Well, Aunt Helen and Aunt Fina. Am I right? Don't you remember them?
Yep,
You
yep.
don't remember
You're-
them real well.
You're
but-
right.
Yeah.
So who is Samuel? That's the one I don't get. He's on here once. He's only on one log, and then it's like the guy disappears. So this is the mystery for me. I don't know
Uncle
who
Sam.
Samuel is.
Mhm.
And you said Stanley died at 1 year old.
Family.
Stanley died at 1 in
Bernard, Harry.
1909.
So there was like a little brother that we never knew
Oh.
about.
Wait, Harry was a dentist? Grandpa was a dentist?
Harry.
Which Harry?
It says Harry, Meyer's son, going across.
Right here, dentist.
He's a dentist.
In 1910.
Thought he was a tailor.
But,
No,
but his
My dad
industry
said he was a tailor.
is mechanical. His industry is mechanical. I don't know.
Wow, a dentist? I never knew that.
Maybe he does very mechanical dentistry like orthodontics.
that's
Dad
funny.
said that his father was a tailor.
Yep, I remember that.
Okay.
Kolbe was the one that was the
Maybe he
neckwear.
was a dentist in Austria, and when he came to this country, he, didn't
Yeah.
have the credentials. And I think that happened to a lot of people. But how old was he when he came here? Do we know?
For which
was
one?
he-
Harry?
Harry.
Harry, we could take a look at Harry in just a couple
He's
of
our
minutes.
all of our grandfather.
Yeah.
Oh,
That-
Harry,
we
right.
never met
Yeah.
him. I saw that night he died in
Right,
19.
he passed before my parents even got married.
Yeah.
My grandfather? He used to own a tie factory.
I had
Yeah.
an aunt.
So that's the
Yeah.
neckwear. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
owned a
he
tie
took it
factory.
over from Meyer? Yeah, that may be what happened.
A brother,
Michael,
Before
Michael,
I
my
shoot-
grandfather,
sister, Helene
Michael,
Brenner.
Michael, at that time, my
Yes.
grandfather used to say, I say, where do we come from? And he used to say, it depended on the day. What happened was the border changed so much during that time.
Yeah.
Sometimes they had to get, a lot of the people who were Polish wound up getting Austrian passports to get out of the country.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so it may say Austria, but they may
Yeah.
not have been, really residents of Austria. They may have been residents and
Meyer,
born,
Brenner.
in a section of Poland
Look at
that
that.
switching borders.
So on row 22, you have Meyer Brenner. This is, I have to figure out which log this is, but this is another way that I was able to cross-reference, right?
Mhm.
What we saw before. So this is 1901. Let me go back to that. So where's Meyer on here? 26.
22.
So Meyer's 26.
22.
No, 22? Okay,
22.
22. From Czernowitz, Austria. There it is again. South, coming in to see Rizzy Reiner, right? And it says mother. So there's that Reiner again. So
Uh-huh.
we're good to go on the names. All right. So
Right,
I'm gonna go ahead and go past that one and go. And there's a couple of other quick things on that side I wanted to show you, and then I wanted to show Kolbe. Do we have? Yeah. So Kolbe, the Kolbe side as well. I'm gonna skip that one for a second. Hold on. It's gonna be kind of cool. As the second, third Kolbe one, fourth. So here's Harry, a little bit more. Here's his
Teaneck.
registration card for is this for World War I or II? I can't tell right from looking at this. World War II.
This is
World War
Harry.
II. He's 52 years old here, yeah. So he was born
January
January
6th.
6th from Chernobyl.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that was really his name. Brenner is a real name that just stayed.
For Harry?
Yeah.
Yeah. Harry
Yeah.
Brenner, Mr. and Mrs. Harry Brenner. He's a ready-made neckwear corp in Bogota.
Yes,
Oh my gosh.
that's him. Yep.
There he is. So,
January 6th, 1890.
Wow.
yeah.
So Mike, you met our grandfather, right, Mike?
I don't remember. I was born in 72. So
No, I know
No,
you.
he was gone. He was
No,
already
I-
gone.
Before we were born.
So
I
who-
was a year old when he
Oh.
died.
yeah,
Uncle
that's
Mike.
what I thought.
Yeah,
That's
he
why I
was born before we were.
Yeah, none of
Yeah,
us.
you
were
don't
born.
remember him.
Here's
Yeah.
Arthur. Here's Uncle Arthur.
Oh
Uh,
gosh.
Sure.
Yeah, there's Uncle
yeah, I
Arthur.
have somewhere I have Dad's yearbook.
Mhm.
Nice.
And then a couple of other quick things on this side. And there's a lot more in there, but I knew we only had.
Here, I'll show you Dad if you want to see.
Yeah.
Oh, if you let me share my screen, I could show.
Is it okay if I wait till the end?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All right. Very cool. Great. Let me scooch through. I promise I'm not trying to be a control freak. I just know.
No,
I wanna
you're
go
fine.
through
You're fine.
some of this. All right. So sometimes when you can't get information, like I said, you pay. And I paid $15 because I had some gaps. So again, I wanted to make sure it's Pearl. So here it is. Here is the death certificate, official or marriage certificate.
Marriage
when
certificate.
Harry married Sarah.
Wow, Sarah.
And there it is, Austria. And she's from Warsaw, Russia, which at the time was Russia. Now it's Poland.
That's what I was gonna say. I thought she was from Poland, Warsaw, Russia. Interesting.
And I was
Oh,
able to get her parents' names as Samuel and Mary. See the last name, Zemzel, Z-E-M-Z-L? So now we have parents' names of Kolbe, Sarah Kolbe, and Harry. And that's that. So that's the Brenner piece that I have and how far back we can go. Let me just double check.
when
and
did
see.
they get married? Oh, I'm sorry.
Wait,
Oh,
wait.
who's that? You mean,
Sarah and Harry, when did they get married?
Sarah and
Or just-
Harry
you just-
were married was 27th of June, 1915.
Yep.
15.
1915.
I
Thank you.
remember my grandmother. That's why my father always went to New Jersey. We always saw his mother.
Yeah.
Michael, have you used 123 at all? Or just the ancestry?
Ancestry and like I said, buying different things that I needed to buy to fill holes and gaps.
Alexander Henry Colby.
Yes. So
When did she
Harry.
come?
Harry's parents were Samuel, well, no, sorry, I got it wrong. Sadie's parents were Sam and Mary Colby.
Mhm.
Okay, so on that path, if I click on the Colby path, this is where when I say there was a guest I wanted to have come in
Mhm.
second time around, is there's a Colby, and I think Uncle Mike, you met him recently. I can't believe his name is slipping my mind, but basically he remembers all of these folks. He remembers Aunt Ida, and some of you probably do.
Sure,
Ida and Alex, and he remembers the
Yes.
parties and sitting under the tables and money falling
exactly,
off, like cars,
exactly.
Yeah.
all that kind of fun stuff.
Uncle Al, that's Uncle Al Colby, right?
Al Colby. Here's
Michael,
Harry.
they used to throw us quarters under there.
So Grandma and Grandpa
Yes.
were both born in 1890. Interesting. They're the same age.
Yeah, I remember my dad always used the name Sadie, not Sarah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 80.
Mhm.
He didn't
Uncle
use Sarah.
Irving. Mhm. 19.
Never heard any of these names. Michael, did you know all these people?
Some,
We used to have those breakfasts, like, I don't know where, like in the city. Leonard and Naomi would be there, and Uncle Al. Like, didn't he used to throw these brunches or something? Why would I remember that and you guys don't remember that?
Oh,
Because you
Al,
live
I
closer.
don't remember that at all.
Well, yes, that's true.
We lived in Middletown, but
Right.
reality is it's only an hour and a half from,
Yeah, but back then,
I know, you're right.
if you look at
So
some
Yeah,
of
wait,
horse
the,
and
did
carriage
Sadie-
wasn't a fast way to travel. Yeah.
Is
look at
Sadie,
some of the
was
death dates.
Sadie born in the US or was she was born in Poland? Is that what it said?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Warsaw, Poland.
Warsaw.
Said
Yeah.
Warsaw, Russia is what it said, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Changing
And she
border.
come over on the ship? Did you find-
She
Did you find her manifest?
did, I don't have her manifest. I have things that, oh, this is Mary. You're talking about Sadie?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, let me
Sadie.
go to Sadie, see what we've got for Sadie. So I've got her censuses. It's really cool, by the way, seeing Grandma Ruth being 2 years old on the census. It's just, wild. But I got the marriage. So here's a passenger list. This is later on a trip.
I didn't realize there were this many people in your family. I wouldn't have married into this family. It's too confusing.
Mhm.
It's actually a lot bigger than I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the reason why I think, looking at these names, do you know, so because they died, like Ida died in 84 and Al in 79 and Sadie in 70. So people who were alive and more teenage-ish in the, say, late 50s would probably have known all of them, right?
Yeah, I actually remember my dad having people in the room that I didn't know that were his aunts.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. And Al, if I click on Al, you can see, I think I have,
Dinah, right?
Al married Lee,
Oh,
Lena
Lee.
Lee Kolbe,
Yes,
had a Pearl
Yes.
Kolbe. Now,
Dinah, I
this is-
remember.
yeah, sometimes these names tell us a story. And that's what I was saying earlier. You know, we talked about my father, we talked about a couple of them, but take a look at this. So I'm going to show you something. So you've got Al, Uncle Al Kolbe, marrying Lena Lee Kolbe, and had Pearl. Well, Pearl was so excited that in 1946, she put in the New York Times an announcement, announces with pleasure the 25th anniversary of her parents, right? Mr. and Mrs. Alex Kolbe on March 20th. This is
Mhm.
1946.
Wow.
But then if I go and take a look at the next photo over, 10 years later, 11 years later, there's Pearl, beloved daughter, and how she, you know, she dies. And there's a contribution to the cancer fund in her name.
Oh,
So in talking to a Tenenbaum, by the way, that name Tenenbaum, who married a Kolbe, this Tenenbaum told me he remembers how when Pearl died, the mom, Lena or Lee, it's like kind of like she was just kind of lost it completely. Like they played poker and she was like gruff with him and get away from the table, and her whole demeanor changed. She was their only kid and it was their only daughter. And it's weird because the data itself, I'm looking at, I'm thinking that must have been rough, right? So here's an anniversary, wow. And then 10 years later, the daughter's gone. Just incredible stuff, right?
Kolbe, 1957.
Yeah. I remember Sadie always playing cards. That's what I remember now. Now
oh
that you
yeah,
say
she taught me
cards,
how to play rummy. I still play a mean game of rummy, all from her.
yeah, she was a real, good card player.
So who was Dinah? Because I remember the name Dinah.
Now, this is so interesting about Hannah because I joined 23andMe and
Yeah.
this guy, Don White, wrote me. The really weird thing is I actually knew him from the Temple of Dot Shalom and I didn't even know he's a cousin.
Wow.
And we met and it was really weird. I don't know if you guys
Jack, I
remember that
remember
we went
Jack
to this
White.
farm, but
Yeah.
his mother's mother was Hannah, I think. My grandmother Hannah was Hannah Kolbe, so likely Sadie's sister. And his
Yes.
father Marvin was a Jewish dairy farmer in New York. And I still remember going there. That was the weirdest thing.
Oh,
So
wow.
I
I
met this
remember the
guy.
dairy
Do
farmer.
you remember? And
Yeah.
his father was really thin and his mother was really heavy and like and the cousins were, half of them were really heavy and half of them were totally
Mhm.
fun. I don't know if you remember, but
Yes, I remember that.
so
Yeah.
Hannah,
Mhm.
yeah, was his, yeah, anyway.
Was
it was
there a
just-
Jack White? I remember the name Jack White.
Jack White.
Well, he had a brother. Let me see if I
It
can
says
find.
Julian though, so I don't.
He
Hey, Mikey,
said
Mikey,
he
if you don't mind me
had four
asking, how long did you put
sisters and one younger brother.
Hmm.
And
Mike, who was the Jack that we bought all our appliances from?
Oh, that was a Tannenbaum, I think.
Okay,
know.
I remember
He
the
was
name
in
Jack
the- he
White.
was in
but I
the,
don't know.
So yeah, Ida is where
The
the Tenenbaums
appliance.
come in.
And Ida.
And Ida married Alfred Tenenbaum. And there's Leonard and Harvey. And one of these
Harvey.
two had a child who is going to come talk to us on the next call. And he's going to talk about how he knew all the Kolbes, remembers the cards, remembers this and that. I
Oh,
remember some of you when you're younger.
oh, cool. You just
Um,
ruined the surprise.
yeah, surprise.
Now we know who the guest speaker is.
There he is, Charles Tannenbaum. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I
yeah.
don't know that name.
Aunt Ida's looks like her grandchild. Yeah.
Oh, so Charles Tenenbaum is my age, born in
Mhm.
1953.
Charles Tenenbaum, I also connected with him on Ancestry, I think.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
you've
Or
both
on
been doing this.
23andMe.
Hey, Mikey, how long did it take you to put all this together?
Yeah, Charles,
took a
Hannah.
long time. A long
wow.
time. Yeah.
Dear mother, she doesn't use computers?
She does.
Mhm.
She does. Maybe she missed. I mean, I texted her and sent her the deal, so I'm not exactly sure, but I can always run through it with her. If I zoom out, just so you can see kind of what we're talking about, I don't want to go too far. It's probably tough to see.
Oh, cool.
You've got
I have to say, Michael did a quick search for my side of the family and discovered a baby that no one in the family knew was born and died. And I had to get in touch with all my cousins to let them know that Michael Cordano found this information out for
Yeah,
everybody.
it's cool, Michael. It's so
They always
cool you
thought
did
that
all
they
this
were
work.
that they were one of 7, and no one knew about
Mhm.
Lena, and we found her death certificate recently. So it's amazing what you find.
yeah.
Well, there I am.
There you are.
Ah, up again, the flip, love it.
Look at you. Look at that
hairdo.
hairdo.
Whoa,
Wow, look at that picture, huh?
man.
Can you hold
Love
that on
the
the screen for a
hairdo.
second?
That's a great picture.
Susan, I love the hair.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like the Patty
Mm.
Duke flip.
Everybody had it at the same time.
Yes.
So that's pretty much it. I mean, there's logs, there's information. It's really fun to look through it. You know, there's obviously where people are, which help confirm the information. And you know,
Mhm.
there's Meyer and Pepe together, which
I love that.
yeah, and they're all from Schernowitz, Austria. So if you want to know what our bloodline is, it's Austrian.
Did your mom know that so it was her great grandmother was Pepe Pearl?
I don't think she has any idea. No.
She didn't know, wow, that she was named. Wow, that is so interesting.
She just,
Yeah.
Everybody always thinks the
Pepe
name
is the-
Brenner is German, but it's not. It's not German, is it?
No, Pepe was a Yiddish name for Pearl, I
And
believe.
Brenner,
I always thought it sounded Italian because it just fit with Cordado. I don't know.
yeah.
so Michael, how many brothers and sisters do you have in the Cordado family?
Oh, on the Cordado family,
Yeah.
it's myself and there's Michelle,
And
and
3
there's
sisters.
Janice, Lisa, and Kathy.
Right.
So
Um,
in
Are
mine,
they all Felices? I
No.
don't know.
oh, no, I'm sorry. Myself and Michelle are,
That's what I thought. You and Michelle. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So
Leonard.
I know we're gonna get cut off in about 2 minutes, but
Okay.
I'm
So
gonna get,
Elizabeth, I thought Michael, I'm sorry,
no,
Mike
go.
Zelia, weren't you in
Yeah,
touch with
Charles.
Elizabeth?
Elizabeth, that's Lenny's daughter.
Yeah. I thought
Lenny,
you
Lenny
had.
Tannenbaum.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I had seen her several years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Charles and Elizabeth. Elizabeth is a Facebook friend now. I don't know. Charles, I connected with
So, oh, Helene, you did 23andMe, so you have
Yeah,
any,
23andMe.
maybe you have some interesting tidbits. Bring
Well,
'em.
that's actually Michelle Verdato's on, Michelle Van Loo's on 23andMe, and that's where I met Don.
Okay,
We were just trying to see too if we could find any relatives of Maya's in this country, but they were like fifth cousins, you know.
Uh-huh.
interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah,
My family just used the 1, 2, 3.
So Mike,
yes.
And it worked.
if we got onto ancestry.com, we could connect to you and then be able to see all this information, or we each have to kind of build it ourselves.
There's a couple of ways to do it. If I send you the file, right, you can
Mhm.
just put it in any family tree program and you'll have it. It'll just be there.
Oh,
It's just going to load
okay.
it. You won't have all the logs that you see those.
Right.
censuses. But if you go into Ancestry, I think you can create a free account and I'll just give you access to the tree. So you'll always be able
Oh,
to access
that would be
it.
cool.
Awesome.
So that's another way to do it as
How
well.
fun.
Yeah, then you can see everything at that point.
Yeah.
No,
That's wonderful.
You did such a great job. So impressive.
thanks. It's been really fun. Like I said,
Thank
to me,
you
it's a
for
mystery.
sharing this.
Yeah,
Isn't it interesting that there was a Sam and Mary Kolbe, and then those names repeated through total coincidence in the family, right? Aunt
wonder-
Mary, and Uncle Sam,
I know, and that's weird.
total coincidence.
How do you do that?
Is it coincidence or somebody
Yeah.
kind of,
And
That's
then
common. Very
it's
common.
coincidence because,
I know, but you never know.
and then that I have an aunt, a great
Well,
aunt
raise
Helene,
your finger.
and they
That's
called her Aunt
crazy.
Helen.
Take it off.
But maybe Dad knew, maybe Dad remembered the name Helene. I don't really know. We don't know.
I don't think
It's
so,
very
because
common
when
thing to
they,
name your kids after their aunt. I mean, back then,
Here,
Yes.
how do I
especially.
clear it?
but I was
Yeah,
named
And I
after
thought there was an
Harry,
Aunt Sylvia. I thought I was named after a Sylvia, but I didn't see a
named after
Sylvia.
Harry.
And
So.
What about, we always heard that, so the name Brenner, we had thought that maybe that was something else.
Like
And
German, and then it was
Yeah,
changed.
it's some,
Austria.
so it sounds like that's not true.
It
No,
sounds anglicized, doesn't it?
Sounds
Or
like the
German.
Brenner was on those manifests from the ship
Oh, yeah.
that you'd seen that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Brenner's all the way.
right.
I mean,
So
yeah.
that's interesting in itself. So
Well,
I didn't know Brenner was never changed.
Well, and I had heard it's sort of a German name that means like burner or something.
Yeah,
but
that's what I had heard too.
There's no German in the family that we can see.
Let me find that Brenner piece one more time.
We don't know where the border, so I guess we have to go back to,
And it says somewhere when he came, when Harry came to the country, does it show?
Yeah.
It usually shows when they came on
Oh,
the ship.
Meyer Brenner was his father.
Yeah, Meyer Brenner
Right.
was his father.
So, and Harry was born in Austria as well.
Yes, that's right.
And do we know when he came here?
Harry, yeah, we do. He came, arrival was in 1901. He put that on the 1930 census that he came in
When did-
1901.
When did Grandma Sadie come?
Sadie came to the US in, I
Oh,
can't,
wow.
no, that's not right.
Hmm.
Could that be right?
yeah, it could be.
Birth,
Yeah.
1890. She came when she was 2.
There's a
Wow.
rival a couple of times. See, this happens where they put something on one census and then they, 10 years later, they're like, I think it was 1895. Okay, 1895.
Uh-huh.
Maybe it was 1890. I would probably venture it's probably one of these two since they're within a year of each other.
Mhm.
But it's kind of what they put on the log. And sometimes they would write things on logs that they would purposely not put information on the log. But for the most part, I mean, we've got some pretty good data here. I don't see anything.
And
Wow.
Ancestry, you could look at people's, like who their neighbors were, like where they lived. It's
Hmm.
really-
Wow,
You can
Death
see
of
how,
husband, May 7th, 1948,
yeah. Yeah,
quite a bit before we were all
Was-
born.
Helene, was Harrison the original name or was that changed?
on
would
Helene,
I don't remember.
Okay,
It sounds like it was changed, but that's so anglicized, don't you think?
yeah, I do actually.
so here's Harry's brothers and sisters. There's Bernard, Max, Fanny. There's
They
Helene.
came early though, too.
Yeah,
Well, what's interesting to me is that the Brenner name never changed, which I remember we thought that Dad said it had changed, so whatever.
Hmm,
I mean,
But I don't
Oh,
remember.
that Helene Brenner, that is so weird.
hmm.
That is weird. And then there was a Maya, but it was spelled differently.
I think Dad knew. I don't think he knew. It could be that she was always called Helen, right?
Yeah.
Like Dad's name was not Joe, it was Jerome on his birth certificate.
Really?
Yeah. But they always called him Joe and Joey, and then he liked the name better, so he called himself
Mhm.
Joseph. And he
Yeah.
didn't have a middle name at all.
Yeah, I've never seen a middle name for him.
No, he doesn't have one. He made it up. But the Jerome is on his birth certificate.
Oh, scroll down. Is that what it says? I thought it said Joseph on here. Yeah,
Yeah, but
interesting.
on his birth certificate it says Jerome.
So
He
you
just
found
never
out
went by it.
from-
Here's
See,
his-
now they have Helen for me here. Hey,
Hmm.
that's not my name.
yeah. It's kind of crazy that they put the social security numbers right there. I mean, I guess
Mm,
it's just wild. It's not
That is wild.
kind of hidden.
Scary, actually.
Well, there was no internet, so
Feel
no,
his identity anymore, right?
No, but now that anybody can use,
Yeah.
but
So
but there's-
weird. We have Helen here.
So Randy and Jarrett, I mean, when you look at this, I mean, what I was showing, I don't know if you saw it, but basically, if you take a look and you see, Sadie right here, right? So working our way through it, you see Ruth, Grandma Ruth, right? Is Sadie and Harry got married and they had Ruth. And then obviously, the rest of the story. So that's kind of why we're so focused here on Sadie and we're focused on Harry, because Harry also had Harriet. And as you know, Harriet's children are on the call. And then she also had Joe, and Joe's children are on the call right now as well. And that's kind of how it all ties together. Harry's kind of the tie for all of us. And,
Yeah.
and Sarah.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
I never knew about a child that died. Never knew that.
Family, yeah.
So did Joe have the farm that we went to?
No, that was on the
Mitchell's farm?
it was on the Harrison side. That was on my mother's side. Mother's cousin owned the farm.
That's right.
Mitchell.
Yeah,
That's right. That's right. I remember that vaguely
was
as a
that?
child. I do remember that.
Yeah.
that was a nice farm.
But we
Where
didn't
was
live
that?
So far from it, in Woodburn,
Yeah,
Oh.
it wasn't far from,
Woodburn, New
Monticello,
York.
Mhm.
all those hotels that the Jews used to go to before they all
Catskills.
in Florida.
Mhm.
But Mitchell was very welcoming, so everybody was welcome.
Mhm.
So odds are we're going to get
Brenner.
cut off any
Good
minute
luck.
here. So that's
Joseph.
pretty much all I had to show. I'm so glad I
Okay.
got to see all of you. I'm not
Michael,
going to
Thank
hang up.
you.
I'm not going to hang up or anything. I just wanted to say goodbye in
So-
case we get cut off.
Yeah,
you,
no, Michael's nice
Thank
to
you,
meet
Michael.
you. I don't
So-
think I've ever met you.
No, I don't think so. I don't
Uh-uh.
think so.
Crazy.
Helene and Linda are, keep up with,
Now, were any of you guys at my wedding? Because Michael was at my wedding.
I'm sure I have pictures
yeah.
of Michael. I'm sure I have pictures of Michael and my
I was at your wedding, I think.
I think
You
I
were
was at
kid.
your
I was
Yeah,
wedding.
you would have met Michael there.
Yeah, I think
there.
we were at your wedding, yeah.
Here's your father, Joe, when he's 4 years old, 4 and 10/12.
4 and 10, 12.
Yeah,
He was
Oh,
what?
he's 4 and
There,
10/12.
see, it says there,
Oh,
Austria
census.
and then Poland, so it's
Yeah.
really kind of,
Mother's
That was a mother.
because it's Warsaw. It's right on and it changed
Okay.
to Russia. it
yeah,
changed to
Warsaw,
Poland.
So they did change it to Poland. Uh-huh.
yeah.
And then some of these codes, manufacturer of neckwear, and it looks like there's not a lot in here. As you can see, he says he came over in 1901, and then Sadie said she came over in 1895.
She's all over the
Yeah.
place, yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes it tells you how much money they had in their pocket, which is really funny because there's just not much.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Where's that?
It depends on the log. Some of the earlier logs, they had a lot of information. So if I,
About how much money they had in their pocket when they came?
yeah, on the
That's-
boat. It's
that's
not on census,
fascinating.
it's on the boat, on the actual.
Yeah, we probably never had any rich relatives, right?
Mhm.
Well, the Kolbes had one of their kids started it was clothing, and it was really a big deal in the 50s and 60s. I think it was Isidore, possibly Kolbe. He's one of the Kolbes that you didn't see here. And
Okay.
he's out doing his own thing. He was making some really good money.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I still
Um,
think it's funny that they were all in clothing and boat. I remember bow ties a lot.
bow
Mhm.
ties. Mhm.
I wonder where that dentist thing came from. Hmm.
But I think actually what you said, Helene, or somebody said it, they
Yeah.
could have been a dentist, and then when they came over here.
Yeah, but he seemed like he was so young. Like, would
Yeah.
that have been possible? I don't know.
Here's
Uh,
That's
Harry
really weird.
or
I
one.
never heard that.
There's a, you said the birth of Stanley down, there was something you just had, Michael, on the screen. It said the birth of Stanley, the one
Yeah.
that we were trying to figure out. I
Do
wonder.
we know how he died?
No, we just know that
Yeah,
he was one. I mean,
Manager, Golden Shoe Company. Wow.
Harry,
Yeah.
Chernovitz, Austria. At this point in time, during World War One.
Uncle Sam working shoes? No.
He was suits. He was a tailor.
Suits, right. Where am I
remember.
getting shoes?
we used to go to Hackensack. That's where Dad got his.
Yeah, they gave me fabric and I would make clothes out of it.
Yeah,
Sure, there you go.
and that's where Dad would get all his suits. I do remember going there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So Stanley, yeah, that's the kind of like, but what you could do if somebody wanted to, they could say, okay, see Stanley Brenner. If I click on it, you'll see the death certificate right here, right? So they don't have it on here. They have the information on here. The hospital was Jewish hospital, and you can order this. The numbers in here, the certificate numbers at the bottom. And you can view the record, you can buy the record, and on there it tells you everything, exactly what happened.
Hmm.
Especially if you're a Brenner, you're a family member, it's even easier. You just send it in. It takes about 5 or 6 weeks. If you're really curious, you can find out.
I
Mhm.
think that there were more children that died young and they didn't
Yeah.
make a big deal. I don't know. It's weird.
Well, there were a lot of children that died before the vaccines were developed.
Mhm.
Right. So I
Yeah.
think that maybe
But
the
why was
superstition wants to
Stanley
talk
not
about it.
with Pepe or
Yeah.
Meyer or Bernard or any of them? He's off on his own. That to me was what was so crazy, is that to see all these, here they are, all the Brenner, well, Stanley's by himself out here, right? And the other Brenners are all together. If I were to
That's
just look up there.
strange.
Yeah.
But he
Yeah,
died
that is
first,
strange.
right?
He died, yeah. He
Of
was
all
one
the kids. So maybe there wasn't a plot for him and they thought they'd put him, in a new plot for the rest of the family, and then it didn't
Mhm.
happen.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
he would have been
remember-
the first child.
Yeah, I remember my dad was buried with his parents.
Mhm.
You want me to show you his yearbook picture? If you let me share, I
Yeah,
can.
go ahead. Yeah, let me
Yeah, I
start
wanna see
sharing.
it.
Stanley was the second one, though. You had my grandmother, and then Stanley, and then Arthur, and then Harriet, and then Joe. So let me stop sharing. Okay.
You have to
That's-
let me. I
Yeah,
think you have to enable screen sharing because you're the host.
Okay. Screen share.
yeah, Helene, you know this really well. So do
I
I.
do it all the time.
We do it all the time because of work.
How's
So,
that? Does that work?
okay, yeah, this is good. So here it is. Wait, I just have to move you guys down. You see right here?
Can't see your screen yet.
Yeah,
can't-
screen's not shared yet. So
Okay.
I think you have to make her the host.
Make her the
No, I
host.
don't think so.
Oh, you don't?
Uh,
We don't see anything.
I'm at the bottom. I just put share screen. Can you see anything?
No, that's
No.
why I think
All
you,
right, I'll just send it to you. But it says about him,
Mm.
pensive Joe likes to read, enjoys dancing, a world democracy. His is ideal, considers women as both his weakness and pet peeve.
that's really funny.
That's great.
That's funny.
That's good. Well, I'm going to set up the next one. I've got this recorded. I'm going to stop the recording, and then I can just make it available if you ever want to go through it or look at it. But I'm going to
Okay.
make the tree available as well.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, that's it. I'm going to
Thank
head back
you,
to the.
Michael,
Thank
for
you.
all
Thank
your
you.
work.
Yeah, no problem. It's
Really
actually fun.
appreciate you inviting us through.
Do you have a set date for the next one or not yet?
Not yet. I need to find out when Charles is available because he's got some really
Okay.
great stories.
Yeah, that was fun.
Interesting.
This is
And
great.
I could invite Don White, who's, it was
Sure.
just really
would be
funny to
nice.
meet him on 23andMe and realize I knew him. That was bizarre.
Very nice.
That
He
is
was actually
nice.
at Joyce Bat Mitzvah as a member of the temple, but we didn't know he was actually a cousin.
I thought this was great that my mom was able to do this by the beach. Look at her background there. Check that
I
out.
know,
Very
Susan,
cool.
look at you. I want to see the hairstyle now.